hope everybody is going to have a wonderful Monday. I'm going to be reading chapter 1 from Toby's story. And this is from A Dog's Purpose Puppy Tale. I believe you have probably all heard of A Dog's Purpose and A Dog's Story. They're movies I can't watch because I get too emotional when it comes to animals. So chapter 1. The first smells were exactly what I expected, even if I didn't know why I expected them. Warm fur, sweet milk. That was my mother, who smelled like safety and food and love. I could also sense my brothers and sisters who smelled, well, a lot like me. We all huddled close together. There was comfort in the closeness and in the heat of our furry bodies. Even if a brother was sleeping on my head or a sister was sucking on my ear, I didn't mind. We were together. That was all that mattered. But even then, there was another smell. Sometimes I would lift my head as far up as my weak little neck could get and twitch my nose, and there it would be. It was a smell of fresh, moving air. It was a smell of green things full of life. It was a smell that made me want to know more about it. But I had to get bigger and stronger before I was ready to find out what this other smell might be. In a few days, my eyes blinked open for the first time. I saw a great big head with soft brown fur and a white body and a white blaze down the nose. Dark eyes looked at me fondly, and a wet tongue came out and licked me all over, from nose to tail in a few swipes. That was my mother. I love her. She was wonderful. When I looked away from my mother, I saw puppies all around me. Their fur was brown and black in splotches. My mother licked them too, and we all wiggled forward to get a turn at her delicious milk. Then we fell asleep. Being awake was hard work. I liked it, though. Each time my eyes opened, I am able to stay awake longer. I was able to see more of what surrounded me. My family and I live in a dark box with an open door. Through the door, I could sometimes see glimpses of bright sky, and I could smell that exciting smell, the one that made my nose twitch each time it wafted my way. Now and then a man came to the door. He would squat down and talk gently to my mother, and sometimes she got up and walked away from my brothers and sisters and me to greet him and wag her tail. "Good girl, Sadie," the man would say to my mother, rubbing her head. "You're such a good mom." That was how I found out that my mother's name was Sadie. At first, all of us pups would peep and squeal forlornly for our mother to come back, but before long, we could get up on our feet and stagger over to greet the man as well. I had thought that my mother was huge, but this man was gigantic. His hands were as big as my whole body, and they smelled amazing. I could not stop sniffing and licking them. I picked up smells of other animals, and something deep and rich and mysterious, and more of that fabulous fresh odor I love so much. Where did all these smells come from? From outside the door, I was sure. I was determined to find out. As soon as my legs were strong enough, I lurched out the door. Both of my brothers and all three of my sisters piled out after me. Two sisters bumped into my tail and tipped me forward onto my nose. That's when I found out that the mysterious smell on the man's hand was dirt. The stuff that was now all over my face. It was superb. I loved it. I sniffed hard, licked my mouth, and realized that dirt does not taste as good as it smells. I think we all can agree with that. I love the smell of dirt and freshly mowed grass, but it doesn't mean I'm going to eat it. Oh well. I wobbled back up and looked around. Later, I learned that the place I was seeing for the first time was called the ranch. To me, at the moment, it was outside. Outside was big and very interesting. I turned my head this way and that way, taking in the sights and sounds and smells all around me. We were in a space closed in on all sides by fences made of wire. Inside our space was dirt and grass and bowls with water. One of my sisters had already fallen into one of the bowls. Inside the space also was a little shed where my brothers and sisters and I had been born. Outside of the wire, I could see more dirt and more grass. Far away was another pen with very big, long-legged dogs inside it. One of them actually had a person riding on its back. astonishing. Through the wire also came that scent I'd been longing to know more about. It was the scent of fresh air, moving fast enough to ruffle my fur and make my ears sway. It carried other odors along with it. The green, living smell I had already noticed, along with the smell of animals, fur, breath, sweat, dung, and urine. But there was something about the air, that sweet, warm air that made me want to run. So I did. I raced around the pen as fast as my short legs could take me. As soon as my brothers and sisters saw me running, they yipped with excitement and chased after me. Dashing forward, stumbling, falling, getting back up, our tongues hung out and our tails wagged madly. Pretty soon there was no way to tell if they were chasing me or if I was chasing them. But it was all so marvelous I didn't care. Running. I love running. It was wonderful. In time we were so exhausted that we all had to fall into a heap and take a nap. But after that, we all burst out of our house every chance we got and ran as much as we could. The man came to see us often in the pen. I found out his name was Walt, and after a while, I realized that he lived in a very large shed of his own. A house, people call it.